Good morning, friends and family and fellow watchers on the wall. So, this video is a bit hard for me to make. Yesterday, I got a phone call that I cannot discuss for security reasons from my oldest child, who is located in the Middle East with the military. He was supposed to be coming home in 3 weeks, and today I don't know where he's located, but I did receive this from him this morning through text, and I hope you guys can hear it. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but here we go.
A good. Oh, that time you. Oh, that's right. Worry about being a good mom means that you are, in fact, a good mom. You're a good mom. You are a good mom. You know that at times you think, oh, I'm not doing this right.
And that's all I received from him this morning. So please understand that, yes, I know it's for security. Yes, I know that they can't tell us where we're going because it would, put other people at risk. I know all that. I'm a military mom. I just really wish people would understand that I voted for Trump because he promised no more endless wars. He promised no more regime changes. He promised the Epstein files. He promised so much to so many of us. And do you know it's okay? It's okay to look at Iran and say it is terrible what the leaders of that country are doing to those people. It's terrible. It is also okay in the same breath to say, but it is not America's place to regime change again. For the ones of you who do not understand, the CIA released documentation that was classified a few years ago admitting to a color regime, a purple regime change in Iran. Iran is the way it is today because of the CIA. So, my name is Samantha Starkey. I'm a mother, I am a wife, I am a Christian, I'm a published author. By the way, if you cannot get our book, Growing Under a Poison Sky, on Amazon because they're telling you that they will not deliver it to your address, you can also get it on eBay, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart online. But please support us by purchasing our book, Growing Under a Poison Sky. Let me show you what's actually happening in this world. All right, because this is important, friends and family.
Distinguish between the deep state, which is the Vatican, the Rothschilds, and the Chabad Jews. And then they use the Freemasons and the Knights of Malta as fixers, and they use the City of London, Wall Street, central banks as...
And remember this, Erica Kirk's grandfather, Carl, was a Knight of Malta. That is the cross you keep seeing her wearing.
They use the City of London, Wall Street, central banks as managers. That's the deep state. Below the deep state is the shadow government, which is comprised of the politicians and senior bureaucrats, many of them murderous pedophiles that have been brought into the pedophilia system as a control blackmail element. Those are the shadow government people. The Mossad perfected the art of blackmailing people. They've also perfected the art of industrial electronic espionage. Everybody snoops, but the Israelis actually are running the electronic systems for the U.S. government. But what I have found in the United States is that all of our politicians are groomed. You don't get to be president unless you're bought and paid for. Now, I've also learned that CIA, FBI, and NSA have been spying on and blackmailing all of our politicians. Veterans understand that war is for bankers. War is waste, and we should not be going to war in America. We need to close all 1,000 of our bases overseas and bring our troops home. One element of the deep state I didn't mention before was the secret intelligence community. Those are the people who are smuggling guns, gold, drugs, cash, and small children as part of the totality of the deep state shadow government enterprise. The different ways in which the deep state, and particularly the Zionist supporting foundation for the deep state, which has the Anti-Defamation League as its primary secret police, they censor, manipulate, and digitally assassinate people.
Yeah.
And the reason they do this is because those people are getting close to the truth.
And if you have not purchased our ebook, Decoding Erica Kirk, which Amazon politically online assassinated, please do. You can get it on my Patreon at Starkey Farmstead. All right, guys, New World Order UN Agenda 2030 mission goals. This is the Antichrist. When you see New World Order, that is the Antichrist system, okay? They need a one world government. The book of Revelation tells you that. Everybody will be controlled by the Antichrist. It's the end of nation sovereignty, a one world army, one world police force, end of your family unit as you know it, one world central bank, one world cashless currency, cryptocurrency, end of all private property. Remember World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and you like it, right? World depopulation and fertility control. If you have not done so, just check what the fertility rates are going for these days. And I think you're going to be shocked. End of home and car ownership, mandatory multiple V's yearly, a universal basic income, social media digital ID. They've already rolled that out in Australia. Microchipped for health, shopping, and travel, implementation of Chinese social credit system, government raised children, all businesses run by state, end of non essential air travel. Humans will be concentrated to zones, and in that zone will be a technocrat. I just realized that not only is Donald Trump setting up a peace board that's going to sit over the Gaza Strip, made up of like 15 different countries, he's also not allowing voting. Now, I understand the nuances in this, okay? You can't have voting going on in the middle of a war torn country, supposedly. That's what they say. But who knows, right? So they're going to set up a technocrat. They're going to elect engineers, scientists. All these people will sit over and control and run Gaza. This is the dry run for what they want to do with the rest of the world. People, excuse me, people who were once very vocal against the Patriot Act and COVID mandates have now sided with the empire. This is wild and definitely was not on my 2026 bingo card. Now, this, friends and family, really bothered me. Jeb Bush is literally rooting for Trump on the prospect of an Iranian regime change. Not only is this super telling, but it makes me physically ill knowing that the Bushes are aligned with Trump and Lindsey Graham. This is Jeb Bush. President Trump continues to demonstrate historic leadership on Iran with unprecedented support for the Iranian people as they face bullets for freedom. I just want to say this. You see what's going on in Iran, and it's really heartbreaking what little bit of media we get. We don't even know if it's real, right? But you see people in the streets trying to overturn their government. Let me just ask you guys something. Do you not see what's happening? Right now in America, there are millions of people in the streets. Are you aware of that? There are millions of people in the streets in cities like Minnesota, New York, Oregon. Now, I know that the echo chambers tell you that these people are dissidents and these people are unruly and these people are liberals, but that's not exactly true. So, can you not see? They're telling you because people are in the streets in Iran that gives America the right to go in and tell their government, oh, no, you can't hurt these people. But right now, there is ICE and police officers and U.S. military hurting Americans on American soil. Now, I'm not talking about the justification of right or wrong, friends and family. This is a quick video. I'm just asking you, can you not see the parallel? Do you not see? I'm just saying. I love you guys. If I wanted to do this to make money, I literally would have just stayed on the Trump train.
President, you released video of that first boat strike on September 2nd, but not the second video. Will you release video of that strike so that the American people can see for themselves what happened?
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release. No problem.
You said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news. I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release. No problem.
You said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. No problem.
You said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
I think there's something wrong with him. And don't tell me that they could not cover it or would not cover it up, just like they did with Joe Biden. It's 5 days. 5 days ago, he said he had no problem releasing what they have. 5 days later, it's fake news. He didn't say that. You said that? Now, I know as you get older, things get confusing. Guys, look, I'm 51. Sometimes I forget what I say. This is not okay. All right. A lot of conservatives are cheering this regime's ICE tactics and inventing excuses for blatant constitutional violations. Meanwhile, Democrats are taking notes. This is so true. And this is why I am holding the administration that I put into power, that I helped to get elected. I'm going to hold them accountable for what they say and they do. Because if I don't, do you know what that makes me? Two-faced. Because when Democrats get back into power, and they will, they always do, the pendulum shifts left, and then the pendulum swings back right. Then it swings back left. But unfortunately, Republicans can't get this through their head. Every time the pendulum swings right, we lose freedoms. We push boundaries on the Constitution that were never meant to be pushed. When we push those boundaries, the Democrats are taking note. So don't give me this, well, I mean, what if Kamala would have gotten in? There is no if. Kamala didn't win, so I don't waste energy on that argument. I focus on the fact that every time Trump pushes with ICE tactics and Constitution violations, in my mind, I'm going to see what the Democrats are going to do with this in 2028 when the ATF comes for your this. You see this? That's what this is leading to. The fact that we can't foresee. I used to think, yeah, Trump's paying 5D chess. No, he's out of control, friends and family. And we need to rein him in because whatever rules he breaks now, the Democrats are going to come in right behind him and expand them. This is what the Bushes did in 2001 with the Patriot Act. And all the conservatives quietly sheepled behind them and look back 24 years and we're all like, my God, look at the freedoms we gave up. It's the same playbook, friends. Do you see what's happening? I mean, do you really see what's happening? They are trolling you by reading out Hillary Clinton's empty chair. They are telling you that she will never be arrested, she will never be tried, and that she won't even have to testify in front of Congress. The message, you thought you were going to see an arrest? Too bad. All you're going to get is an empty chair. This is yet another demonic troll from the Trump administration designed to humiliate the American people. It's evil. They're never going to arrest Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Obama, the Biden regime. None of that's ever going to happen. Why? Because they're all in it together. Once you release yourself from the right left paradigm, once you realize there is no left, there is no right, it's just two groups of people that come at the same problem from different directions. Once you understand that, you understand a lot.
We'll go on the record. Good morning. This is a deposition of former Secretary Hillary R. Clinton conducted by the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. On July 23, 2025, the Subcommittee on Federal Law Enforcement unanimously voted to approve a motion directing the committee to authorize and issue a subpoena to former Secretary Clinton for a deposition. I'm going to note for the record that former Secretary Clinton is not present. The time is 10:05. We are going to mark items for the record. We will mark as Exhibit 1 a cover letter from Chairman Comer dated August 5th, 2025.
We're going to mark for the record that we subpoenaed her. We're going to mark for the record she never showed up. And we're going to mark for the record that she's never getting arrested. Okay, so under Biden, we had all these weird people in the military wearing their fairy costumes, men that were women, women that were men. It was absolutely insanity. That same insanity is still happening. Creepy Mar-a-Lago event with people in dog masks with old-time costumes as viral clips stun people. Have you guys seen this? Have you seen what happened? Wait, let me find it. Let me find the video for you guys. I was so grossed out. I was like, oh my gosh, wait a second. This was at Mar-a-Lago? Yes.
And the way you look tonight.
Let them eat. I don't want to get in trouble for the music. Can I just say the elites are still in power? Could you even imagine going to a party or anything else with these kind of people dressed up, dancing around, and you're just standing there in your fancy clothes, drinking your drink, never considering how weird this is? This is friggin' weird, you guys. They are not like us. If I walked into a party and this crap was going on, I'd turn my little pretty self around and I'd get out of there. But hey, right? It's a club. You and I aren't in it. This is Mark Rubio on Trump in 2016.
Let me tell you something. I will never quit. I will never stop until we keep a con man from taking over the party of Reagan and the conservative movement. He's a con man. He's a con man. He's a con man. I'll tell you why. Number one, look, people are angry and frustrated and scared about the future. Okay? People are working harder than they've ever worked in their lives, and they're running in place. And he swoops in and is taking advantage of that. He's taking advantage of that. He's telling people, I'm going to fight for the little guy. I'm fighting for the working class. Here's what he doesn't tell them. He has spent a career in business, 50 years, sticking it to the little guy. Sticking it to the little guy. When his companies went bankrupt, the first people that didn't get paid were the subcontractors. The plumbers and the pipe fitters and the people that laid bricks and all of those people that worked for a living, they didn't get paid. He got his money. They didn't get theirs. He's going around telling people, oh, I'm fighting to keep other countries from taking our jobs. What is he talking about? You ever bought a Trump tie? If you buy a Trump tie, you're not just getting a tacky tie. You're buying a tie made in China or in Mexico. He portrays himself as the strongest guy on illegal immigration. That's fine, but Trump Tower was built by illegal immigrants from Poland, who he paid $4 an hour, 12 hours a day. Okay, a judge found that he was involved in a conspiracy to defraud these workers of their pay. Even now in Florida, he has a hotel or something down there. And 300 Americans have applied for jobs at that hotel. All of them got turned down. Instead, he brings workers from other countries. He acts like he's some sort of tough guy. He's not a tough guy. This is the first guy that asked for Secret Service protection. First guy. The other day he told the protester, I wish I could punch you in the face. Donald Trump has never punched anyone in the face, okay?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. How Trump knew Netanyahu before he became prime minister. Multiple biographies and profiles say Benjamin Netanyahu and the Trump family's connections go back to New York in the 1980s, when Netanyahu was Israel's ambassador to the United Nations from 1984 to 1988, well before he became prime minister in 1996. Some accounts specifically describe Netanyahu becoming friendly with Fred Trump during that period. Fred Trump also gave a decent amount of land to the Chabad Jewish group in New York. And a lot of people believe that Fred Trump was Jewish. Now, the Chabad Jewish people are Kabbalists. Let that sink in. Wilbur Ross worked for the Rothschild family. He stepped in when Donald Trump's businesses were going bankrupt. He spent decades working at Rothschild's New York operation and ran its bankruptcy restructuring advisory practice before later founding W.L. Ross and Company. There is solid reporting that Trump's business faced severe distress and that banks and creditors restructured and extended terms rather than forcing an immediate collapse. Trump's creditors agreed to lend additional funds and provide breathing room so that his businesses could reorganize, including interest payment relief tied to billions of dollars in loans. Reuters later summarized how at the start of 1990, Trump owed billions to many banks, and negotiations were led by counsel hired by a major bank, Citibank. The Taj Mahal bankruptcy, Wilbur Ross, working for Rothschilds, on the bondholder side, multiple sources describe Ross's role during the Trump Taj Mahal financial crisis, that he helped to negotiate with bondholders and creditors with a deal that reduced Trump's stake but still left him in control. Too big to fail framing. So PBS and Frontline did a segment explicitly framing the dynamic as banks facing a choice between cutting ties or bailing out restructuring because they had already lent him so much money. So when I asked last night on my short, what does Israel have on Donald Trump to keep forcing us to fight battles in places we don't have any reason to be there? That's why. Netanyahu and Trump are friends. They've been friends for years. Probably business partners in ways we will never know. And the Rothschilds are involved. I called it many times over. Trump is fulfilling the 10 Kingdoms plan to a T, rolling out the red carpet for the one world government and rise of the Antichrist at warp speed. So this is the map the Club of Rome put out in the early 1900s. As you can see, this number one is America, right? Green. It's supposed to be the North American Union, but what you're going to see is all of this is going to end up being probably 1 and 6 combined. It's going to end up like this at first, and then you're going to see another restructuring where Russia, China, and the U.S., the three big kingdoms, gobble up and condense everything. It's coming. I mean, there's no way around it. The Bible's explicit. I'm okay with it, but I'm not going into it with my eyes closed. This is a map from 1942 of the New World Order. Notice Canada, Mexico, and Greenland are all part of the U.S. This plan has been in the works for over 100 years, friends. Post-war New World Map. Post-war. Let me say it again. Post-war. This meme from the White House is from a neo-Nazi book that promotes anti-Semitic conspiracy and praises Hitler as being right. They're using Nazi fonts, Nazi slogans, referencing Nazi books while using Nazi tactics. This is not a coincidence. Which way, Greenland man? This came right out of a book from Hitler. And it's on the White House X account, friends and family. So Gaza will not have elections. It's a dry run for technocrats. The members are expected to be technocrats rather than politicians, but some are believed to have affiliation with the Fatah Party, or however you say it. U.S. announces launch of second phase of Gaza peace plan. White House Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff declared the establishment of a committee of Palestinian technocrats. This made me furious. I also voted for Trump because I don't want my federal tax dollars funding abortions. If you want an abortion, pay for it yourself. I shouldn't have to pay for that. Breaking. The Trump administration has quietly restored millions of dollars in Title V grants to Planned Parenthood that it has withheld since March of 2025. Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing the Noahide laws global courts, training rabbis to enforce them everywhere, from Jerusalem to your backyard. These 7 laws sound innocent, right? Think again. Reject idolatry, Jesus, and face beheading. Rabbis say 2/3 of humanity will die soon in their new world order. Ex-Christians brainwashed to ditch Jesus for Talmudic control. Netanyahu's inviting U.S. pastors to Israel for ambassador training. It's a trap to convert churches.
Hollywood star Mel Gibson has told staff and associates that Benjamin Netanyahu is the Antichrist, and he'll be the future ruler of a one-world government ushered in by the New World Order. According to Gibson, the global elite have gone into overdrive promoting their evil agenda on the world stage, preparing humanity for the next stage of their Luciferian master plan. Case for the prosecution. Zionists have been caught red-handed burning Argentina to the ground, using IDF hand grenades as part of a plot to seize Patagonia and turn it into Greater Israel in the Southern Hemisphere before.
And if you've been watching me for a couple of days, I've been showing you proof of this. Now, let me again clearly state this. I'm a patriot. I love America. My sons are in the military. I detest what the current administration is currently doing. As a Christian, I understand the promises God made to Israel. And I love the Jewish people like I would love an older sibling who has fallen away and started doing things they know they shouldn't do. I'd still love them, but I'd point out they're wrong. Now, I don't know about you, but the more that I learn, the more I become concerned. Because, see, it's going to work like this. Everything is tied to the Jesuits, the Black Pope, everything. The Jesuits are the ones that put it in somebody's head to create something called Zionism. They are the ones who were behind the American Civil War. They are the ones that created Freemasonry. They are the ones who helped establish what Muslims are today. Once you begin to realize that they all trace back to one group, it makes more sense. None of these people are actual enemies. They just have convinced zealots to get into their camp and fight for them. All of the heads of these groups answer to one person. the Black Pope.
They spark World War III. The fact the media are covering up Israel's arson in South America says everything you need to know about the times we're living in. The satanic agenda has never been so blatant. And Mel Gibson has a warning for those who think this is just a game. Things are about to get very crazy, very quick. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. According to Gibson, Benjamin Netanyahu just wants to see the world burn. Whether that fire comes from nuclear fallout, through Israel's Samson option that holds the United States and Europe hostage under their nuclear guns, or whether it comes from literal flames, like the wildfires now tearing through Argentina and Chile. Chaos is the strategy, fear is the leverage, and the fire is just a tool. A week ago, Benjamin Netanyahu was pictured with a map of Argentina at the White House. Then, Argentina's Zionist President Milei, who just received an enormous $40 billion bailout from the Trump administration, ordered his government to scrap two long-standing Argentinian laws immediately.
En cuanto a tierras rurales, se libera la compra por parte de privados extranjeros. También se elimina la prohibición de cambiar la actividad productiva del campo por 30 a 60 años tras un incendio, una ley del
Now, fires have ripped through more than 5,500 hectares in Argentina's Chubut province over the past 10 days. Investigators say gasoline cans were found at 2 ignition points, and locals report finding IDF hand grenades and Israeli tourists starting bonfires.
Pero lo que más te duele es el alma y el corazón cuando ves a la gente que se quedó sin nada, cuando ves los animales muertos. Nosotros hacemos colecta.
This will be all on my X account. You can go watch. I've
It's been
seen all
in the
this.
works for centuries. These aren't anti-Semites. These are people tired of double standards and get out of jail free passes for those of a certain nationality. What the hell is going on in Argentina and Chile? According to Gibson, whose child trafficking investigation has led him into the heart of darkness, it's called the Andinia Plan. It's been in the works for centuries. And the Zionists are now pulling the trigger before they ignite World War III and a potential Northern Hemisphere nuclear holocaust. We've got the news from Gibson's trafficking team right after this important word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The diabetes medication.
He was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous.
Lord, how long is that commercial?
By the globalist government. From tunnels under Los Angeles. Gibson also called out the elite for allowing arsonists to burn LA to the ground for their own corrupt interests. Now he's got a message for the world as Argentina burns. Investigate the Zionists. This is forbidden knowledge, officially banned in the UK by the globalist government. They hand out fines to any media organisation who dares to mention it. But it's historical fact. As inconvenient and politically incorrect as it may be, it's undeniable. Now Mel Gibson blows the whistle about what the task force has learned about Netanyahu's plan to seize control of Patagonia, turn Argentina into Greater Israel, and drive the world to the brink of World War III and beyond.
I'm going public because time's running out. This is the real plan that's been running since the 1850s, and it's barreling toward World War III. Back then, they targeted two prizes, Palestine and Argentina. Palestine for control of the Middle East, Argentina, especially Patagonia, for a final refuge when the world burns. They took Palestine. Done. Now comes the Isaac Accords, Argentina's quiet surrender, turning it into an Israeli colony in all but name. Right now, they're burning Argentina down, wildfires everywhere, and buying the scorched land cheap. The tool, their fake NGO, that's Backpackers Without Borders, so-called backpackers, like with maps and cameras, supposedly mapping trails. In reality, they're intelligence operatives marking targets, befriending locals while they plan which part of the Patagonia to burn next. Why? Because the deal is sealed. Milei told Netanyahu, mi casa es su casa. If Nuremberg-style trials ever come for Israel, they've got their escape hatch here, just like the Nazis had in the 1940s. And the end game, nuclear World War III. Fallout winds blow east-west across the northern hemisphere, Europe.
So I'm just saying, you guys, this was the airspace over Iran yesterday before I went to bed. Like I said, my kids somewhere over there. It's just, I'm so heartbroken because I truly love my country, but I need everybody to wake up with me, okay? Wake up with me.
So considering that basically the United States occupies Venezuela at this point, and as long as Delcy is on good behavior, we're just stealing the oil until no longer she wants to play ball. And then, of course, Paul Singer will direct President Trump to go back into Venezuela. And Lindsey Graham has been very vocal about saying Cuba and Colombia are on the chopping block. We've talked about, fighting in Mexico. We're in a showdown for Greenland. We said, well, we're going to take that. Well, the Danes are saying, well, we own that. And the Danes aren't some third world hellscape in some far off Middle Eastern country. They're a white Christian country, and they also happen to be a NATO country. And NATO is saying, yeah, you're not going to just steal that. And Trump is saying, well, F you, we are. So apparently that means that we're going to take it by force. I don't know how else that gets arranged. We got to kill 60,000 igloo people and then square off against NATO. And meanwhile, on the BRICS side, you have Iran, China, and Russia, who independently we've agitated each one of these countries because we've gone in and we've hijacked oil tankers that were carrying hundreds of millions of dollars in oil that the proceeds were going to be directed to Iran and Hezbollah and China and Russia. These were Chinese-owned, Russian-owned, and Iranian-owned oil tankers, and the proceeds were going to them. And so we've disrupted that and now sent a carrier strike force over toward Iran, signaling that we're going to go ahead and bomb Iran. Well, now China has sent fighter jets into closed Iranian airspace. So this BRICS alliance, and of course, being that Russia is an ally to Venezuela, Venezuela is, Iran's only ally in the Western Hemisphere, and would be a BRICS nation had neighboring Brazil not shot that down. But of course, neighboring Brazil is controlled by a Rothschild-owned central bank. And so that's why they have vetoed Venezuela's, full-fledged BRICS membership the last two times that they've come up. So now it's shaping up where we're going to be in kinetic confrontations and we're going to occupy or be affecting covert operations or regime changes or nation rebuilding in Mexico, Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, probably some other Spanish-speaking countries as well, I would imagine. And then we're going to be posturing against NATO, militarily, I guess, over Greenland. And none of these things, by the way, benefit American interests when considering national security or economic interests. And then on the BRICS side, we're going to face off against Russia and China and Iran. It's my opinion that if you are involved everywhere in the world in military operations, regime changes, conflicts, or full-blown wars, and the real possibility of World War III here is probably something that should be seriously considered. Nobody's going to be thinking about who's on the Epstein tapes. And a while ago, I said, these people have agreed to self-annihilation and total destruction, burn the whole thing down to prevent these tapes from coming out. And also, you have to consider the fact that if our military resources are so depleted because quite literally we're fighting in every corner of the earth, then obviously you have to consider that that opens the mainland up to, some vulnerabilities when considering a full-fledged military invasion of our country. And certainly at that point, nobody would be considering a matter of importance to be who's on the Epstein tapes.
I hope you understand what he's saying, because it made so much sense to me. I think that if we knew who was on the Epstein list, we would burn it all down. So I think these global elites have realized we're done. The people of this world are done. We are done slaving for you. We're done writing truthful books and Amazon stealing your money. We're done sending our sons and daughters to be eaten up, chewed up, and spit out on foreign lands for nothing. For nothing. Look at the Middle East. We've been jacking with it for 60 years. Does it look productive? Laura Loomer tweeted out last night I pray President Trump goes and save the Iranian people. I said, you are disgusting. I pray that it's your children and it's your grandchildren that they send. No. The world is tired. They're all involved in Epstein. There is proof coming out, and I never believed it before. But there are people coming out claiming Trump was more than just listed. Now, you're either for children and the abused or you're against them. And I have to say, as a mother who lived through it, my children being abused by someone we were supposed to trust, someone that was a youth pastor, and my husband at the time. No. So you know what they did? It's a full takeover. And you are. I mean, this is what's going to happen. The Noahide laws are going to be applied to you. They absolutely will. Those will, when the world war is over, that's going to be the governing for the world is peace. It's going to be peace. It's going to be the Torah. It's not going to be the Bible. It's going to be the Talmud. It's going to be the Kabbalah, but it's not going to be the Bible. The whole world, because it's what they're going to say. You're all Abrahamic religions, the Muslims, the Christians, the Judaism. You all come from Abraham. Peace, peace. And here comes the Antichrist. I'm just telling you, they don't and will never tell us what's on the Epstein file because it's everybody in the government. It's all government leaders, royal families, politicians, business owners. It's so big that if you knew, you would speed and not pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like it would infuriate you. They know it. This is all planned. It's all posturing. They're going to cause these wars. It's going to decrease the population very quickly. It's going to disrupt all the moving food and stuff around. It's going to destabilize money in every country. It's going to make us all cry out, save us, help us, help us. And you're going to get exactly what you asked for. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for praying for my children. Thank you for understanding that it's okay for me to grow. It's actually a sign of intelligence for me to push through what I'm uncomfortable with to look into things. That should make you feel like maybe finally you found someone that's not just caught up in propaganda or being paid to say a talking point. I have blood in this game. I love you so much. Have a blessed day. Thank you for your time.